Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. This is your Studs Up show. Welcome to United Agenda. This is your Studs Up show. And tonight we're joined with a fabulous panel. So let's introduce D7. Hello, D7. Welcome to the Man United Agenda. Should we say welcome back gracefully? How are you doing? How are you feeling today? You good to be back?
Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back amongst you guys. Hi everyone. You all right?
Good.
Brilliant. Thank you. And then next to him is Mr. B, as always. Hello, Mr. B. OS, pleasure as always.
Pleasure always. Good to be back on the show.
Big Phil with the chest out. Always good to have you on. And as always, controversial or not controversial, sorry to say it, but the man on social media that's rocking it for us for the United Agenda at the moment, it's Amonde. Hello, Amonde. How you doing? Thank you. So, guys, tonight we're here to discuss Manchester United and the threats of who will be sort of challenging us this season coming up. So, guys, D7, sorry, as you're the newest person, part of the panel now going forward, we got to bring it out and we got to tell everyone that you are a mutual fan tonight and you're actually a Liverpool fan.
That's right.
On the Man United Agenda. So, who do you think Manchester United biggest threats are for this coming season?
Well, personally, I believe the front three, the runners, will be Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea.
Boo!
Believe it or not, I think Tuchel, going since he's been at Chelsea, like his record speaks for itself. I know they lost to Leicester, but with the side they've got now and his ethos, I think they'll be good. So for me personally, I think Man United. I think you've overachieved this year. I think. Well, I don't know who agrees with that or not, but I believe you guys overachieved, and I think that fourth spot. If the deal with Varane comes off, Sancho, I believe he could be there or thereabouts. But that front three look miles ahead of where everyone else is, to be honest with you.
So let's go to Mr. B now. Mr. B, for yourself now, Man United finished last season quite distance, I would call it, behind Manchester City. They've gone out now. We've signed the likes of Jordan Sancho. There's obviously rumours going around talking about other players. Who do you actually believe Manchester United sort of rivalry as challenges are for the season? Obviously, we've got D7 is coming out with, obviously, United had a sort of a season that wasn't really a reflection of what the season would be in normal circumstances. But who is our biggest challenges?
Not Liverpool. D7. No, let's be honest. You've got Man City who are going to be obviously favourites. We finished second, and I'm still sensing that there's a lot of fans who are disappointed with the fact that we finished maybe so far behind them in second. But I think it's a work in progress with us. Liverpool, I do believe we'll come back stronger. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope it wasn't. I hope it's more than just one player being away that made them play like such a bunch of tossers for the season. So they will be there. Arsenal, I don't care who Arsenal buy, they're not going to be involved in anything at all. Tottenham, If they keep Harry Kane, then they're going to have a goal scorer. If they sell Harry Kane, more than likely Tottenham are going to spunk the money up the wall anyway. Leicester, I believe, will be okay, but I'm hearing that obviously Maddison. I think if Maddison does leave, then I think they could be in trouble. And then obviously Chelsea, I think the biggest threats, I think will probably be Chelsea. If I'm honest, I think it's going to be Chelsea.
Yeah. Obviously, Mr. B reckon Chelsea would probably be United's biggest threats going forward. I'm not really and truly going to give you Man City or Liverpool because I think they're going to be the team that we as Manchester United fans, we need to catch them because I still think we're quite far distance away from them. Out of sort of the top 6, is there anyone else you could see that could really and truly rival us this season?
You know what? I've heard just from D7 saying like last season he reckons maybe United overachieved. I don't know if I agree that we overachieved, but a lot of things did go our way. You know what I mean? And when I say that, I'm talking about Liverpool losing their whole back line. That's going to come back. We don't know how Van Dijk is going to be when he comes back because that's a big injury. So he may not be the same player when he comes back, and that could affect Liverpool as a team. But they're going to be stronger. City, as you said, they're going to be the powerhouses that they are. Now, for me, it becomes the rest. Now you have Manchester United. I don't believe Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea are in the same position, I think, as Man United in terms of their development, in terms of their phase of where they are right now. And it can go either or. Like Chelsea could finish higher, United could finish higher right now based on who the players that we've signed and everything. Outside of Chelsea and Manchester United, I would say, Leicester always there. They're always there year in, year out. Barnes is going to be back for them. And remember when Barnes was in their midfield with Maddison, they were firing. And Leicester are making some signings. They made an extra attacking signing that's going to give them that extra bit of oomph. And their defenders, there was one of their defenders, James, was injured. He was a crucial part of their establishment last season. He was injured. He's going to be back. So I think Leicester are going to be a big one. Like Mr. B said, I'm not worried about Arsenal. You can see the type of players that they're being linked to right now as well. I mean, Arsenal right now are going to be fighting with the likes of Leeds and them man there. But I would say Aston Villa is another one to watch out for. I don't think that they're going to be a threat to us, but I think they're going to be thereabouts around 5th, 6th place because they've made some really, really good investment. But Chelsea, it's going to be a battle between Chelsea, Manchester United, and Leicester, I would say.
Yeah. So Big Phil, going on now from OS. He's obviously saying Chelsea could be a big threat to us, and also Leicester City could be a threat to us. Losing Maddison be a key player if they do lose Maddison. But I don't think losing Maddison would be a big issue because they lost Harry Maguire last season, and they survived, didn't they?
Yeah, I know Leicester just signed Patson Daka, and he's a very, very good forward, right? Because we saw the likes of Jamie Vardy being injured last season, and there's only so much Iheanacho could do, right? So bringing in Patson Daka definitely will strengthen their squad as well, right? With regards to who would challenge Manchester United, it's all about the squad who has the biggest depth. Right, and by depth I mean quality and depth as well too, right? In all honest opinion, Liverpool, they have a great starting 11. But in my opinion, I don't think Liverpool have a strong enough depth, and I can see that they are working on that, right? With the likes of bringing in Konate and Shaqiri still around there, and then also Thiago Alcantara, if he does start now that Wijnaldum is gone, right? In my opinion, it all depends on how we spend in the summer transfer window. As most people will say, bringing in Jadon Sancho is not the only position we need to fill. And then also, let's look at the first 10 games, and I will confidently say after the first 7 to 10 games, who can be realistically challenging for the title, right? So just to recap, it's about who we spend the money on for this transfer window, if we fill the positions that are needed, and then the first 7 to 10 games. So let's go from there.
Monday, with Big Phil. Big Phil's given Ole the whole sort of 10 games where he believed we could be title challengers. Obviously, we know last season you're one of the biggest person, well, one of the main person on this channel who believe we should have won the title. Main contender for this season, who is the biggest and the one team outside the top 6 that you're probably more fearful of? Mute.
Excuse me. Outside of the top 6, I would say Leeds United, 100%. For me, the way they play their football, their manager, their drills, the murder football they do in training, I'm really impressed by them, and I think they're here for the long run. Obviously, they don't have the budget, but their signings they're making, as in Rafinha last season. Who else? The guy from Valencia, the striker. He didn't even get any games. This is the thing. He was their record signing, Rodrigo, and he hardly got games because the manager's like, well, you're not fitting in. Maybe this season he will start to represent. Who knows? But I really like Leeds United. I like their energy. I like the way they play. And I think on their day, they're a threat to any team. So I think with a bit more consistency this year, they didn't really draw last season. I think they had a record like maybe 15 wins and 15 losses, something like that. So I think they've got the ability to turn that round and be a real threat. And I know we beat them 6-1, but even that 6-1 game, it could have been 7-7, that sort of thing. So I love to see that. In an era now where it's all about defense and trying to sort of tactics, all this kind of thing, they're refreshing. And I love what they represent at the moment. And as we're seeing with Kelvin Phillips, for England, he's turned out to be a really good player. He looks like a good player, even on the big stage. So it shows, even if you're playing in the Championship, there's a lot of gems there. Given with right coaching and thing, they can go a long way. Yeah.
Thank you. So for myself, I look at it as a main threat for Man United leading up. I still believe, I can't see us challenging for the title this season. I still believe there's a process, there's a rebuilding structure going on at the club at the moment. We've just got another coach today at Man United. I think there's far too many coaches at the club now. What they're doing, I honestly don't know. But let's talk about Leicester City as a main threat coming in. We can lose Maddison, but I just believe Brendan Rodgers just got that habit of knowing what players, they've probably been scouting the players for like the last 2 years to bring into the club, knowing who's going to fit in. And they don't really go and spend a lot of money on the players as well. And when they sell the players, they sell the player for quite a lot. Then I've got one team that a lot of you guys have not even recognised or even give any recognition to whatsoever is Everton with Rafa Benitez back. So with Rafa Benitez back, you know they're going to have money to spend. Everton, they spent quite a lot of money last season in the transfer market. I can see them going now and spending more money. Rafa Benitez plays more defensive sort of football, and he knows how to win games dirty as well. So Everton, I've got Everton to challenge us the closest, then Leicester. No disrespect to Arsenal or say Spurs, but I can't see them really and truly doing too much this season with Man United. Arsenal, I did think about Arsenal. I did think about the style of football that Arteta is trying to get the players at, but I can't see where they're going to go on spending money to come in and improve the squad to challenge for even top 4. So, yeah, that's where I've got sort of, like I said, Everton and Leicester to challenge United. So let's go back now, and we've got a few comments. And can we just use some of these comments to answer some questions? So, Armando, when you're ready.
Hi, everybody.
Armando?
Yeah, hi, everyone tuning in. Got Charles Williams. Davis would like to know he's a Liverpool fan. He says, evening, guys. Threat to what exactly? Threat to reaching the Europa League Cup final again. Talking about Man United making top 4, question mark. Explain. Please don't start chatting about titles in European Cup. So clearly, Charles doesn't think Man United are a threat. We think we're Europa level and can't even challenge for the title. We're saying hi to Amy B. And
Sorry,
Romero.
can I just go back? D7, with that comment, what do you make of that comment? Do you think it's a realistic sort of obviously we know Charles is a Liverpool fan, but you being a Liverpool fan, you underpanned it as a neutral tonight with us. Do you actually believe in those comments, or do you actually think United can go out and actually challenge?
Nah, I know OS. You mentioned earlier about the overachieving. Be honest, before the season started, there's not one Man United fan who would have said we'd have finished second or first. There's not one Man United, like you were saying before. It's a rebuild. It's a rebuilding process. So, like I said, it wasn't expected. So you finished second, great. But even in the conversations we're having now, people are talking about Everton being in and amongst it, being challengers. It shouldn't even be an afterthought. If you finish second and you truly believe you're finished second, you should be now thinking, well, we're going to win it. Not thinking about Everton and all these other teams. Everton just got a new manager. Yes, Rashford's a good manager, but he's still got to get his players in, get the right ethos in and around the players that are already there. So what Charles is saying, I do agree with to an extent, although it is quite abrupt in how he put it across. But I do agree with to an extent, as I believe that 4th, 5th type spot is going to be up for grabs. I know you mentioned about Brendan as well. Brendan always gets the team to a certain level, and then it's that extra bit to go and win it. I don't think he's got that right yet. So So yes, Charles, I do agree with you.
And just to add to what D7 was saying there, for me, I don't think the likes of Everton, Leeds, Arsenal, I don't think any of these type of teams are a challenge to us. I really do believe, and I get what you're saying, D7. It's true. At the beginning of the season, we didn't think United would finish second, third. I mean, fourth. I mean, I thought we could get into fourth if everything went well for us. But second, I agree with you for sure. We didn't. But I just feel like Chelsea, City, Liverpool, those are the 3 teams that we need to compete against. Those are the 3 biggest challenges for us. All the others, Leicester come close, but I agree with you again. Leicester bottle it always in the last minute. Rodgers takes them to that one place and then they can't go over that.
What would you change about Man United's setup now in terms of players coming in? What would you change that you think would make you then challenge the likes of City, Liverpool, and Chelsea? What would you change?
I mean, everyone jumps to the signings, but for me, it's bigger than that. For me, it's the coaching. We've discussed it. It's the coaching is the biggest crucial thing. The manager, are these guys the right guys to be able to train the squad on that same level as the likes of City? Because that's the top as it gets. With the coaching team that those teams have. So I think it's more than just players for me. It's definitely the coaching of the team.
Okay, so if you guys you're out there liking the content, please smash a like, subscribe. We're the Man United Agenda. Oh, sorry, I'm on there. I interrupted you.
No, I was just going through the comments. Yeah, I agree. So there's a few Liverpool fans in here. We heard what Charles had to say, and David's responded. They're saying Ollie's going to flop again. Ollie at the wheel. It's like one big joke. Then we got Gemma bigging up Davis. She's a Liverpool fan. She's saying welcome to Davis. And Amy B saying Chelsea, Liverpool, and City might cause problems because Chelsea's transfer budget. That's one factor. Virgil will be back for Liverpool. That's the second factor. And City have got loads of options. So there's some really good points there from Amy B. We've got an Arsenal fan saying the biggest threat to United next season will be Arsenal. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
And over here now, we've got Gems again saying another excuse. I just want to comment on the Liverpool thing, if you don't mind, after this. Gems is saying people forget about we missed our new signing, Thiago, for about 24 matches. Was he injured against Everton as well? Our captain was out for many games, along with others. It's not an excuse, but any other team would struggle, she's saying, and they ended up finishing third. I just think, just to add to that, with Liverpool, I made a few notes, and I was looking at it, and I'm saying, well, Liverpool, I don't think them getting any better. I think they've peaked, and I can't see them improving. Their front line is aging. It's the same front line as 2-3 years ago. They haven't really made any significant changes. Even though they've got Jota in, he's half and half in. You know, he's not really the main guy. And I think with the budget as well, they're not really spending like a big club should. So we just spent 70 million on Sancho, who's a quality known player in his prime and going to be fantastic. You know, we can all see that. But they're buying players that we say, oh, who are they? We have to do a research, watch a little YouTube video to see if they're any good. And this is the thing with Liverpool. I don't see them progressing. I think their days of being championship contenders is done out here, I'm afraid.
Wow. That's a big shout. Wow.
That's a huge claim. But guys, we all got our opinion. I'm going to move on with that now and continue on the Man United journey. So obviously Davis was saying, obviously for us, I'm talking about Leicester, I'm talking about Everton. For me, the reason why I believe there's always one team there that always try to get amongst those sort of like top 4, top 6 teams, and that's the reason why I honestly believe it's going to be Everton. Everton last season wasn't that far away. They're probably about 2 or 3 players away from making it in sort of like that top 4 area. Obviously, like we said, Leicester faded away throughout the season. Leeds United, as what Monday truly picked up on with Bielsa there, they've got a great unit there. They play for the team, they play for Bielsa, they run for a brick wall for him. So let's go back and let's start with Monday again with this one. Monday, obviously we talk about Man United. There is comments here saying, obviously with Man United, we are our biggest threat. How can you see us overcoming and actually peaking to the top of the Premier League this season and taking the Premier League title and breaking this whole hoodoo from, say, the Man City and the Liverpool, and also trying to make sure Chelsea don't get in amongst us?
Okay, I could see it coming. I really did. Last season in January we were top, and I know there's a lot of other factors to do with other teams falling off a little bit. But like I just mentioned about Liverpool, I don't think they're no longer a main title threat. Our main threat is City, to be honest. And I just think with consistency, where we stay now, I think we've got more quality players now. And I think with quality players comes more confidence as well. And with Maguire, we watched him in the Euros. I think he's been fantastic. He's got to be one of the top 5 defenders, not just in the Premiership, but in Europe now, and maybe even in the world. And I think Luke Shaw's been fantastic. I just think we need to just tweak a few things like our goalkeeper situation and get a few more squad members in there and keep Paul Pogba. I know you guys done a fantastic show the other day discussing about Paul Pogba, and I was saying he's world class. We need to keep him. He's a world-class player. So if we can keep that squad together and have a bit more confidence and a bit more improve on what we did last year, which was struggling to break teams down and struggling to break teams down and having a bit more pattern of play to score our goals, then I think we're going to be more consistent. I really do think we are the main title contenders. I haven't seen the odds, but based on Jadon Sancho and Varane, maybe we're getting in, and a couple of other players that we're talking about. These are the factors that are really going to push us up there. And I think we can actually do it this season. Be in a proper title challenge with City, unlike last year.
Okay, Big Phil. Obviously, Monday is saying about title contender. I know you just spoke about a minute ago also regarding the first sort of 10 games where you think we should honestly be title contenders as well. We're talking about obviously what team there can hurt Man United, can upset Man United, upset the odds with it. Do you truly believe that United can pip and win the league though? Do you actually, in heart or not, do you actually think we could with this squad of player right now, even with the likes of Varane and the Sancho added in?
Just to allude to what Amonde said, as much as we go back and forth about Paul Pogba, we need to keep him, right? Paul Pogba is an integral part of Manchester United, and he will be one of the reasons why we get a chance to lift a trophy. I just said one of the reasons, right? Because at the end of the day, football is a team sport, right? Definitely, we have to see improvement in the coaching as well too, right? That's why I always allude to, the first 7 to 10 games. Let's see what Man United can do within those first 7 to 10 games. We go from there. And Manchester City, the difference between City and us is that they have squad depth, right? I mean, when Aguero was fit, he was coming off the bench. David Silva coming off the bench, right? Versus us, we're bringing on the likes of Dan James and even like Scott, not even the Scott McTominay, just Amad Diallo. Those guys are good, but they're not like up to quality, right? So, adding the likes of Jadon Sancho and possibly Rafael Varane and even Camavinga, and also looking to keep Paul Pogba for this upcoming season, I definitely think we have a chance to we have a chance to challenge for this season. And that's just my opinion.
OS, now I'm looking at it, it's a case of what do you think that, or what sort of formation do you believe Man United need to adopt this season? Do you still think you should go for the double pivot with the Scott and the Fred? Or do you honestly believe we need to change the system with the play of like with the Jadon Sancho of the world now and possibility Veron, even though we haven't signed him yet, which would be give you a bit more stable at the back and a bit more security at the back? Or do you think Ole should then go and stick to the formation he's been trial and trusted for the last two seasons now, really?
I personally think Ole has to stick to the same system if we don't buy a centre defensive midfielder. I think it's all going to rely on that, because if we don't have a reliable centre defensive midfielder, he's going to always put Scott McTominay and Fred together. Especially if you have Pogba in the team, you have to have someone next to him that's going to do all of that, ugly defensive work. And someone that is comfortable on his own in that position. And we don't have a player like that. The closest player we have like that is Matic, and Matic's legs are gone, as we all know. So I would say it all really comes down to if we get that defensive midfielder. If we do, then I would probably say, we can possibly do the double pivot, and also make sure we build around Sancho as well, making sure that we give him a platform to thrive and not just throw him in what's happening right now and hoping for him to create miracles.
And now we go on to D7. D7, being a Liverpool fan, you guys absolutely been fantastic over the last few years. I know on Monday have said that he doesn't believe Liverpool are going to be contender. But like I said, that's on Monday's word. I honestly don't believe in that at all. I think Liverpool is going to be a force next season. I think the players going to come back. They're going to be re-energized. They're going to be electric. They're going to be up for it, because losing the title gives you that momentum and it gives you that more hunger. Now, Man United, Liverpool, that was one of the first games I was looking for when it came out. How do you think, obviously looking in your crystal ball, but do you think the momentum for Liverpool will sort of VD come back, the players, will Henderson come back, the player they are, for the new upcoming season?
I think Henderson, although obviously once he joined the England side and started playing a few more games, to be honest, he looked a bit unfit, but he still looked to have the same leadership qualities. Obviously, still got on the football. He just looked unfit to me. So maybe a bit too early for him. But again, obviously, he get a preseason under his belt, so I think he'll be fine. On Monday, obviously, I don't know. Maybe a holiday was a bit much for you, but I don't know. But the front three, the figures, the numbers don't lie, as you all know. When it comes to strikers, so you've got Salah, who finished second top scorer in the league in a season for Liverpool, which is almost a very disappointing season for us, finishing third, and he finished the second top goal scorer in the league. So I don't know what the push would be for changing a player such as that. Diego Jota came in, scored. I think he scored in his debut, scored consistently, then got injured, came back, continued where he left off. So I'm not quite sure what you want Klopp to do there. I admit probably one other centre forward, probably in place of Firmino, but just to try and mix it up a little bit. So yeah, I think I think Liverpool. I think it'll be fine. I think Van Dijk coming back. Obviously, he's strengthened with the is it Canate? Is it who signs? Obviously, for backup you've got Matip, who's he's always injury prone, to be honest, and you've got Gomez and Van Dijk. So yeah, for me the team looks strong. You've got some good young midfielders coming through. Yeah, it looks good. That looks good. But for me, for just quickly on Man United, for touching Man United, for me, you need that Varane signing, definitely without question. I read something the other day about that Di Lorenzo, the right back. You get him, you get Varane, you get a midfielder, a holding midfielder who can actually hold the midfield, and then you play Bruno ahead of them. You've got half a chance, and you play Sancho on the right, Cavani up top. I'm not sure about Rashford on the left under Ole. I don't think he gives him the right direction as a football player, but because he seems to be a different type of player under Ole. Seems to he loses the ball a hell of a lot, way too much for a Premier League footballer. But yeah, other than that, Luke Shaw. So already then you've got a very decent side if you make those two signings, Varane and the right back, and a good holding midfielder can hold it on his own, and he got half a chance of contending, I believe.
And Mr. B, with the what D7 is saying regarding, obviously, with a couple of small signings, he honestly believes that United can challenge for it. What do you think? Obviously, we got the Sancho. What is the key signing do you believe we need at Man United to actually challenge for this Premier League? If you had to pick between a defensive midfield and a centre back.
I would. Oh my God! I get the hard question. Yeah, I would take a centre midfielder because McFrackery's kills me, man. I can't. I physically can't do that again for another season. Honestly, mentally, it'll just blow my head. I will. If I had to choose one, it would be a centre midfielder because I don't care what Fred's been doing in the Copa America. I obviously the football over there, the standard of football over there is really, really trash because man's talking about him being one of their best players and I just don't understand it. I see him play week in, week out for Manchester United and he's shocking. So I think I would rather take a central midfielder than I'd rather take a CDM than the centre back. Once the season starts and Lindelof gets pushed over, I'll probably be cussing, saying we were better off getting a centre back. But I just feel that I'm not going to say we're 3 players away from challenging, but what we are, I think we're 3 players from making Man United a complete team. As in, we've got the 2 proper centre backs, we've got the spine. Centre midfield, whoever we bring in is going to take time to bed in. It has to be an Ollie choice, or like Van der Beek, he's not going to play him. Do we trust Ollie's judgment on that sort of player? Look, here we go. Look, we've got Camavinga come up here. He's one that we've been linked with, and he looks like he can do the 3 jobs in central midfield. He can play in all 3 positions. So I think somebody along those lines, I'm jumping on the Camavinga bandwagon because obviously he's the name that's been out there. And like everybody else, you look on YouTube, you've seen him play a couple of times in maybe Europa or Champions League. He hasn't played any games for France. He's playing under 21s. So unless that is the way that you're looking, then I have to trust the scouting. Jesus Christ, yeah. We have to trust the scouting that Man United will be doing for next season. But yeah, I think we're 2. Now that Sancho is all but confirmed, I think that we're 2 players away from being a complete first team. Whether or not the squad, that depends on what we're keeping, what we're selling, and if he can, maybe do a trade here or there. I don't think we're going to do any swap deals, but players can come in and players can go out. So there's still movement.
Thank you. So we're just going to go through some comments quickly, and I'm going to fire some question at you guys as it comes. So be prepped and ready for me to hit some questions at you.
Yes, so we've got Romero. Hi, Romero. He's saying that Man United should go back to a back five or try a back five, put Dalot, Shaw at wing back, but Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, and Varane as the three, sort of like what England have been doing. Tomini maybe, and Fred in midfield with Pogba, Greenwood, Sancho up top. And he said he's lost his trust in Martial.
Oh,
Why?
wow. Okay. Big Phil, you're on the spot. That's you. You're going to be on Romeo. So talk to Romeo.
Quite interesting. A lot of people, you leaving out Bruno, and they'll probably come to your head, but I won't come to your head if we're leaving out Bruno, because I still think Paul Pogba is our best midfielder at Manchester United. A back five. My only concern with that, Romeo, is that if a tall enough and aggressive physical striker from an opposing team is being marked by Wan-Bissaka, I have no confidence in Wan-Bissaka defending that in the air, right? One-on-one, yes, but some of the teams in like the lower half of the table, right? They look to get the ball into they look to play direct football, right? So with regards to that guy being up against Wan-Bissaka, sure. But my question, Romeo, or to anybody on the panel, do you think that the current players at Manchester United are disciplined enough to play with like five at the back, right? A lot of people think that five at the back sounds very defensive, but if you have attack-minded wing backs in Luke Shaw and Diego Dalot, we can get creativity not only coming from the middle but also from the wings as well too, right? So I'm down to try it, but are our players not defensively disciplined enough to play that formation? So yeah.
Thank you. Monday's getting some more questions.
Yeah. In response to that, I do think discipline enough, but I think if we're buying Sancho and we've got Martial, Rashford, and all these guys, I want to see those three up front. So keep it as a four. Just going back here to Amy, said Liverpool changed their style, thinking they would win. I don't know what he means by that. What she means by that. And there's a question, Errol, would you pick Declan Rice or Ruben Neves? I hear Neves has been linked with Arsenal this morning.
Yeah. For me, for the English valuation, I would say to myself, I would probably have Neves over Rice. And the reason why is we can get Neves probably for about 60 million. With Rice, I know we're going to be probably paying anything up to the 100 million for Rice. If we were to get Rice, I would say why not play Scott instead of Rice? Because I can't see the difference between the two players. I think they're just as good as each other. So for me, yeah, I would still pick Neves over. I've always rated Neves anyway. So yeah. So Romeo, Neves for me. Guys, if you're liking the content out there, smash a like, support us. We're the United Agenda. Come on, hit that button. So any more questions there?
Not really. That's
Not really.
Good. Thanks everyone for the contribution though.
Thank you.
Comments in there.
So before we go, guys, let's go to final thoughts. So final thoughts, let's start off with the D7 who started off. Where do you think United will finish next season?
8th. No, I'm joking. Fifth. Go for fifth.
Fifth. And Liverpool?
First.
Okay.
Is that why you like?
I'm just going around asking everyone. Mr. B, United finishing this season. Where are we finishing?
Above Liverpool.
And we're going to hit OS where
I'm only predicting based off where we are right now as a club and the signings that we've made, not who we think may come in. I would say third. I think we're going to.
Thank you.
Big Phil.
Yeah, I kind of agree with OS. If the season had to start tomorrow, we would finish probably third, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Title contender.
So,
Whoa.
no, guys, I think we're going to win the league next season. Remember when Beckham got Diego Simeone, France 98? What happened next? That's France 98. Next season was 99. And they come back with some character. And I think a lot of guys after the Euros, which was a fantastic tournament in the end, I think a few guys like Sancho, I saw him really, he was heartbroken. Rashford, Maguire, anyone see his penalty? He's been showing a lot of character. A lot of these guys got a lot to prove, and I think they will be champions. And they showed a lot of They showed me a lot of character, and I think Rashford will show a lot of thick skin, and he will be getting it in the away grounds, and so will Sancho. But I think these guys are going to deliver and turn us into the most exciting team in the league. I can see us winning the league again.
All right. Well, and I'm going to be on the side of OS and Big Phil. Third or fourth will finish. That's what I'm predicting this season.
Why haven't we got second? Sorry, just out of I'm hearing third or fourth. Who obviously we've got Man City. I take that. But then who are we looking to be above us?
Liverpool, man. Come on.
Liverpool, Chelsea.
Chelsea, I would say, like I said before in the beginning, Chelsea and Man United, for me, even though they have a better manager, it's still kind of even. It could go either way with Chelsea and Man United. But Liverpool, we know what Liverpool have done. We know the manager that this team has. For me, he's my favorite manager right now. Just how he riles up his players. They're going to have their players back. They're going to be pissed because of what happened last season and the type of criticism that they got. Their fans got everything. I mean, they got it last season. So I could just see them coming back with a vengeance this season. I'm not saying they're going to go and win it, but I definitely can see them finishing above Man United.
Yeah. And you got to remember, go on.
OS, my issue with Liverpool, I don't see them getting any better. As I said earlier, I think they peaked, and we know what they've got now. I think you get cycle. We know we've witnessed what the Jurgen press or the gung ho football, and teams are getting used to it now. And I don't think the drop off was due, and I think teams know how to manage this a lot better. And like I keep saying, the front three. We look at Mane, he dropped off last season. They're not getting any better out there. And I don't see any, whereas we've got Sancho in and reinforced and we're looking excited again. With Liverpool, I just don't see it anymore. So I can see them being there or thereabouts, but no way tight contenders.
But you know, Mane can't be worse than what he did last season. So whatever happens next season, he's going to be better for sure. Yeah. He can't be worse.
Yeah, but even Trent Alexander-Arnold, the guy is good going forward, but defensively, the guy's pants. Like we put Sancho on the left or Rashford on the left, and he decides to go forward. We'll eat them on the counter attack. That's just my opinion.
Okay, guys. So before we go, we're going to give D7, because we're just attacking Liverpool, the final word.
Well, I'll say, let me try. I was going to ask Amandi a question, actually. I was going to say to him, you're saying that Liverpool, everybody's so sus to them. But since Thiago came in, I think we've had discussion before, do you not feel that Liverpool as a football team have changed the way we play? So we've signed Thiago, so we retain more ball retention. Whereas if you watch when we won the league and we got to the Champions League and we went in the Champions League, we played with suck people in, and then we'll play the diag to Salah and to Mane in behind where they were one-on-one. Now, when you say Mane has dropped off, it's because obviously you got Virgil van Dijk who plays the ball nice and early. The centre-backs who came in haven't got that quality to be able to play that part. He brought Thiago in, and he's always on the ball. If he's always on the early ball into Mane and Salah is never on. So when they get the ball, there's a lot more people doubling up on it. So Thiago is going to be dictating the football, how we play. So we're having to change the style of play that we've got, which is the signing of Jota. Jota's not a player who goes in behind early. He'll come and get the ball in the pockets and get the ball feet, just like Firmino. So the style of football is changing, but we're still producing without some of our key players.
Good, thank you. So on Monday we'll just go through the questions. And then...
Yeah, so Romero saying I think United would be second, with Liverpool third, Leicester fourth, and City are going to break down. I think and Europe team sorry, he said City is going to break down, I think, and be a Europe team. Sorry, and then Chelsea first. So he's saying City will be out of the top 5. Chelsea going to win the league. That's a bold statement. And sorry, just in response to Davis, D said what he's saying. I do think they've tweaked it a little bit. I think Liverpool have always been looking for that creative midfielder in the 3. They got Shaqiri in when they were looking for the French boy prior to that, who went to Betis. They've also got Keita in, but he broke down. And after watching Thiago last season, I mean, abroad on the continent, he looks fantastic. But I've seen him a lot, like struggling, reaching for balls, almost pulling his hammy, stretching balls, and getting into trying to. You see, he wants the heart. He's got a heart for it. I don't think he's really settled yet in England. And sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, sorry. When he came in, he replaced Fabinho because Fabinho was injured. So he was the deepest of the 3. So that's not where that's not we're playing him. Fabinho's going to be sitting and he'll be further forward. So when Ronaldo goes, that's almost like a replacement, as Mr. B was saying earlier. So Thiago was playing holding before, so he was reaching for ball because he's never had to play that position before.
Oh, so you agree he was? You agree he was reaching then?
Guys, we're going to wrap up. We're going to bring it back. We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back.
Well, I'm very excited, Solo. I'm really excited about this. This is like getting after the Euros and everything. I'm getting all excited about the Prem now after talking about all these big clubs.
Yeah, brilliant. So last few comments.
So this is Gemma saying Thiago was having to do a job he isn't used to, as David, as D7 just saying. They're on the same page. Talking on the same page. Good stuff. Okay,
guys. So thanks to the panel. D7, thank you. Mr. B, OS, Big Phil, Omonde, thank you guys. If you're liking the contest, please smash a like, subscribe, and also do remember to comment. You can find us on social media on FTB Sports. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and the Man United Agenda. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for watching and have a lovely evening.
Good night, guys.